Yo, what the muck is up, guys? I hope you're doing all right. Um, yeah, it's Thursday here, and I guess I'll do a little bit different video than some of the ones I've done before. And with this, the title is "Getting Out of the Yu-Gi-Oh K-hole, uh, flipping for Christmas fun." So um, that title is super cool for me. I had a great night last night. Um, Being in SoCal, I actually made a trip over to Frank and Sons, and in a definition of what is like relatable to like most Isley for toys and things. Um, and I mean, dude, it's just amazing, awesome place. Um, but with everybody doing these videos and they're talking about like so and so in the hole, and everybody's like basically continuing to pay more money for cards. Um, I actually was all like, well, let's see what we can get out of this and kind of moving towards Christmas. I've got a lot of stuff that I've wanted to get from this year, and I've actually picked up a lot of the filler cards that I've needed recently, mostly from Frank and Sons. So all the vendors out there who are just there as like staples. That's such a cool place that exists for Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Pokemon, Funko Pops, all that kind of stuff. So if that one person's there, thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in. But last night ended up taking uh, basically a book and then one of those little Walmart mystery cubes over to Frank and Sons. And while I was there, I had some people look through those, and we traded some. I sold some cards, and so that was really cool. And since my decks are mostly built, I didn't need really any of those cards that I took. So I was just like, well, if I hold on to these, like it has to be for some like special reason. Like I know it's gonna be worth more later or something. And I was really surprised because a lot of stuff went, and the things that didn't sell were kind of the new Phantasmes that I pulled from the 2020 Mega 10, just because they're just regular supers. Um, didn't want to let those go for two apiece, but I'll still hold on to those. And so, hopefully in time, those will continue to go up. I'm thinking they're probably like 4.5 right now. So that's cool. But last night, didn't end up picking up some money cards. And I don't know how much the total pull was. But I mean, looking at what I got with what I brought back and like cash, still able to put some gas in my car, still able to get some food. Probably turned about 150 bucks in real time. So that was cool. But I knew what I took, and it's not like I didn't show up with cards that were worth nothing. I did end up selling two Beast Kings last night. Um, I threw some crazy posts up on TCG. I was like, all right, if anybody wants them for 80 bucks, let's sell them for 80 bucks. Realistically, I know they're not going to go for that, but here locally, I still got 30 for both of them. So 30, 30, $60 total. And, not bad. So turning two Beast Kings, and that's real time, that's money. And so another video that another one of the guys, the same dude who's talking about the BCGG, whatever, uh, you know, um, grading card company, whatever it's called. But same guy, he was also talking about all the stuff you got to go through when you start like flipping cards. And I think it's funny he made a whole video because I had a post up on Instagram, and it's like all cards are all fun and games until you gotta like pay for shipping. Um, but I think it's part of a really cool part of the process actually now, and so it's a little interactive way you can still kind of reach out to people. And I think with the internet way being so big, like some people are gonna like not just like want cards that are certain cards, but they're also gonna want certain cards from certain people, if that makes any sense. And so I totally get that. I think it's super cool. But anyways, did go ahead and picked up one of these, the Prank Kids Palace, and I believe this is one of the most expensive cards from the Prank Kids deck. Got it for 15, and I think last time I saw these online they were going for 18. So if that's still correct, that's not a bad pull for that for me. And then this one is also from last night. Got a Gearsu. So I've been waiting to get one of those and build out Mech Knights. And then Gizmek Kaku Supreme Shining Sky Stag. So didn't shoot one in the woods last weekend, but we got one right here. And so that's very cool. And it's almost hard to see on camera. There's like so much going on that card. But really solid. And just the border on that all the way around is really thick. And so a couple of these cards that I got are in really, really good condition. You do want to look at some of the ones that you get there because some cards come in, they're pretty beat up. But that's kind of how the used market goes. And then this one I actually picked up last time I was there. But the reason I wanted to show you guys this one is because this is an English Girsu. And I really wanted this card just because the art is so cool. And one of my first structure decks was actually Ancient Gear, and so this reminds me so much of kind of like that machine style archetype. But with that, when I was doing some different videos, and I don't believe this is one that I posted, but I believe it's one that I have on GoPro. I actually pulled two Korean gear suits, and over where I work, there's a lot of Korean influence over here. So for me personally, this is easier to look at, I guess, than Japanese. And so for me, this is really cool. And also, since it is around here, if I start to learn how to read these cards, maybe these cards can help me understand my environments a little bit more. And so I think it's super cool. But yeah, I think this was the most expensive card that I picked up from Frank and Son so far, and I think I paid 18 for it. Um, they almost got me on a Madolce last night. They had the ulti, but I couldn't throw down 40. I think somebody else had one for 80, and so I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that right now. And then these are some of the other ones. So picked up another Mech Knight Blue Sky last night, and then I had one from previous. So both of those. I'm still gonna need to pick up another purple, but the purple Nightfall is also very sick. And I think that I picked up the blue and the purple from the first vendor for 4 each, and then the ones that they were trying to sell last night, I think for the purple were already up to 9. So I passed on that other purple, but was able to pick up 2 of these as well. And so I'll be uploading some decks later. But when I say flipping for Christmas fun, we're doing some just like a gift exchange for my family for Christmas, right? And so for one side, I've got a name, I've got somebody I've got to buy for, and as we were going through, there's some people who are doing some art. Got a portrait for my son, and then also got this kind of like portrait for myself. Those are super cheap. But then for my brother, they have this like really cool like Neff style long sleeve. I don't want to spoil it for him because it's just super cool. Before that, picked that up for him. So we're probably about $25 into his gift giving, and he's a little bit taller than me, so if an XL fits me, should fit him. So I didn't try it on because it's gonna be his, but it's got the tags on there, and such a cool thing to actually be able to sell some cards and then come out with money and then come out with gifts, even if it is just something really small, and to kind of get the thought process going. Because what I think we're probably about 3.5 weeks away from Christmas, really, and got about 2 weeks to buy gifts. So, you know, anyways, but in addition to that, uh, and as I was going through, I had to pull out a Sonic Stun because Sonic Stun does go along with one of the cards that I got last night. Uh, Ended up picking up a Virgil, Burning Abyss. Being here in the studio, this card's awesome. And I mean, if you were to show up to a show and this guy's on stage, like, he's gonna throw down. So that's sick. And then with that Sonic Stun, which basically is a card that calls up on a TG card, got a TG Halberd Cannon and ulti. And so if you guys can see that, got a really good price on this guy, and it's got a 4,000 attack as I dropped in my keyboard, and then 4,000 defense. So just strong across the board. And with this, I want to see if there's some way that I can integrate this into Vylons, because Vylons are relatively weak across the board. Not sure, but I'll go ahead and try it out and see where we go. And then in addition to some of that other stuff, have my Adignisters, and Adignisters are about as cheap as they can get for building decks. So if you guys are trying to build a budget deck that you want to thrash, Adignisters are, yeah, super cheap. And so I think I picked up both those sets for $1 total. And we got a Dark Templar, Adignister, and then an Achichi Adignister, I think, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then the reason why I wanted to get Adignisters is before I was gonna wait. I was like, nah, like don't do that. But they are Cybers, and so playing Cybers, there's a lot of stuff like Math Mech falls into that. and then kind of like that whole Cybers machine wave, and being able to build like some crazy strong machine in the hit with a limiter removal and do like attacks for like 12,000. I think that's pretty cool. And I mean, I've seen even people go more than that, but it's to say whatever. And so with Adignisters, also have this binder over here. I might show you guys this stuff later, but it isn't the most important at this current moment in time. When I first got this card, and it also came from that Korean set, I had no idea what I had pulled, right? And it took me a second. I was like, I don't even know the name of this card. But even in Korean, I don't know if I can get the light right, but it still has the at symbol on the card. So you can still tell that even in the Koreans, this is an Adigniter. But for that pack that I pulled, which was one of the premium packs, I got one of the ultras there. But in the same card, I also got a Korean ulti. And this is one of my all time favorite pulls for sure. It's not on camera until really now, but this is really cool. And so knowing that this is an Adigniter, I do need to pick up one of these in English to see what the translation is. But I'd like to play this card, so it doesn't just look cool. I'd actually like to throw it down and see what can happen. Oh yeah, this is on the page right across from my Enlightenment Paladin misprints. Somehow I was able to pull a playset of misprints out of these Walmart packs. Um, and so I'm not super crazy about Walmart cards, but sometimes it's cool. And I did see somebody had these up online for sale, but that's a pretty gross misprint right there. And it's actually not just on that one card. And I saw somebody else had one of these up for sale as well. So I don't know what happened. I mean, obviously the font was wrong, and somebody wasn't on their game that day. But I think it's super cool, and I have the full playset. So I would actually like to get the playset graded and then sell the playset as the playset graded. Um, Even though they aren't first edition, BOSHEN047. And so I think the one guy who had his up on eBay before when they were trying to sell, he wanted like 35 a piece or something. Um, but I don't know if those actually sold for that. And then looking at some of the cards' prices, yeah, all the Gem Knight stuff has fallen. So that's okay. Um, so that Hidden Arsenal 5 set is not really worth what it used to be, for sure. Um, but with that, I do have most of those decks built, and that allowed me kind of some extra cards to go take over last night. So, and then yeah, that Korean set was so prime. Like the treatment that they did for those cards was just next level. And so I really think that I'll go back. Now I'll probably end up buying some more Korean sets, but just to keep it between English and Korean, I think that's where I'll be because the Korean sets are super inexpensive, as the U.S. sets are kind of like more on the other end. And especially as everybody's kind of getting ready for Genesis Impact right now, I've kind of seen it, and I'm not really that hyped. I kind of feel like it's another set, just like the one, whatever that Gaia banner that I got is, like Legendary Duelist or something. Um, so I don't know if I'll be rushing out to go get any Genesis Impact or anything like that right away. I'll kind of see how the set turns out. Um, but with the one just before, that price is already tanked as well. And I know that these aren't the originals, but for nostalgia and for the guy who had picked them up, I had to get them because over time, if the originals of these continue to skyrocket, hopefully there'll be a day where these do also. And these are almost in really amazing PSA grading condition. But that is, yes, a first edition Cyberstein, but it is not the expensive one. But maybe one day it will be in secret. And such a classic, like OG, like grimy art for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has made all these like really like kid-friendly arts more or less. And there was a lot of stuff that they made at the beginning that basically wasn't as dark, wasn't as like magic status. And then that's a crush card, also first edition, but again, not the expensive one. but for general collecting, this, yeah, this meets my needs quite well. So super happy about that. Still waiting to get my English link cross, but I do have just the Korean common, which is so weird because link cross is such a notorious card here in the US that I wonder why they didn't do a similar treatment on the Korean version. Or if it's just this card will always be worth 2 cents, and then the Korean version that comes out in like a ulti or something is going to be like, that's the one that you want. I have no idea, but nevertheless, I did pull a link cross, and so very cool. Nice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this book is insane. Probably one of the best that I've built so far. I mean, I feel bad if I'm not going to show you guys right now, but we started out, and so this is where it'll begin. Just some really super basic ultis, and got this one in a trade at the card shop. Got that one in the center in Vegas. Same thing with this one. Card centers that are out of dual overload. Sansanowo. Yeah, so we'll get to the rest of that later. That Empress of Prophecy is a stunning card, and so I'm such a sucker for like collecting the ultis because these just look so much better than the ultras. So super about it. All right, so getting over past all this stuff, went through and these are okay. Yeah, that's Laval right there. Okay, this is Gem Knight right here. So both these decks are built out. Laval, Gem Knight. And so I was telling you guys that I was going to go ahead and follow through on that. And these were mostly already built, so it was relatively easy. Um, did pull an Abyss Dweller. One did sell last night, but saved a White Moray as well. And so those weren't going to go. And then do also have two windows that I saved aside because those can work with Spirit Charmers or Gusto, I believe. And then, yeah, this will. Oh, no, this is Gishki right here. He's got an unformed void to throw in with Gishkis. And I don't even know what this is over here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is Adamancipator. This is something that'll probably end up selling because I do have a lot of Adamancipator, but it's been really popular for this year. So I did want to, hold on to some of it. But when I got my Secret Slayers, I basically got the Researcher and I sold it immediately. And with that card, I think I got like 65 for it when it first came out. So that's still my highest price sell and you go to date. But I do have an access code talker and a few other things, and so those will sit back. But we're still on the search for the ghost rares, and it's like literally going to like Frankincense and seeing all that stuff. Like there's this one place that literally the whole top rack of their display is just ghost, and it's just it reminds you of like walking into a store and just looking at like diamonds, looking at stuff that's like overpriced for sure. But super cool. It's super cool. Um, and hopefully those cards will retain their value because over time, that's not just like an investment. That's not just something cool to have. Like that's actually like, in a sense, some stability for whatever market survives, I guess, into the future. So bringing this down, yeah, got Cyber Wizard, that kind of stuff. Boral Lord Dragon or Boral Sword Dragon, my bad. But all of this stuff is basically for Math Mech. And so the easiest thing to go and kind of flip and get money for me last night was knowing that all the cards that I took, I didn't need. Like, I didn't really even want them. Um, and so, like, I told somebody, I was like, yo, like, I'm building like 30 decks. And the dude's like, whoa. And then he kind of looked at me all weird. And I was just like, is that like absurd? And so I didn't really think that like this would be like a thing. But I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I mean, maybe other people don't organize like I do, obviously. And that's however they do it. But for me to be able to go through and to be able to start like flipping and to be able to like know that I'm getting rid of stuff that I feel it's like, oh, I can actually get rid of this stuff now. Is I've been doing a ton of work, and so again, these stackable containers from Walmart are amazing, and I can't find it anymore. And they always have like no lids or crush lids, but if you can find them, these are super sick. And the reason I like these is because they just have these little flip down sides, and they open real easy, and they're perfect size for the cards to go in with the sleeves, and so they can still move around just a little bit. If you get these too full, it will press kind of the corners of the top card, so kind of keep that in mind. But these stack, and so these are very clean. And then the sides on these, like, I don't believe a whole lot of moisture would creep into these kind of containers. So for like building a deck and then programming it, this is the best way for me to know that I actually have the deck here. But then if I need to change out a card, or if it's like something that I'm going to modify, I can always go back and kind of see where I like left off, either on the digital platform or in like real time. So for me, that's super cool. And so, I mean, obviously, once you throw down quite a bit, there will be a time where you're gonna have to like either get out, or you don't want to like save everything, because it's not like I can't play all of these decks at the same time. I mean, so there's one here, there's two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And then where's the other thing? 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So 36, right? So obviously, if I were to go and I was like really needing money, I would be taking a lot more with me. So last night when I went, obviously you're gonna lose money if you're flipping to like vendors, because they got to make a profit. But it's still really cool because you go in with, hey, we got $2 in cash. We're not gonna use a card. We're not gonna buy anything without additional money. Let's go see what we can make. And then to come out, I mean, if it were cash, if I were to like roll out, probably about 150 bucks. So that's not bad. And most of those cards, I'm whatever on. And so to pull these out, and I can just show you real quick. There's Evil Eye, amazing deck. I've pulled some super rare cards. I actually ordered some cards for that deck offline, so I'm stoked about that. Got the Rikas here. Went ahead and sold my extra copies of Flurries last night. Didn't need those. And the other thing is like I can only post 500 cards at a time on TCG. I'm getting pretty close to 400. So I still got to update some others. But with the cards that I did post on TCG, I'm not going to take those cards and I'm not going to sell those cards at Frank and Sons, because I've already done the work to basically put them up online. And then if I sell those cards, then I have to go back through all those cards and redo all the work. Okay, what did I sell? What didn't I sell? And so when you take cards to like that place, you have to make sure that they're not accounted for. It's like still a separate inventory. So it's not like you don't want to step on your toes, I guess. And I'm learning all this. I'm making mistakes too. And so I've had to, you know, I think I did my first credit on TCG to somebody. I shipped the wrong card. So I felt super bad about that. But I'm learning. And so definitely got to be a little bit more attentive. And another reason why I really don't want to deal in unlims, it's just first editions, and it makes it so much easier. So yeah. Um, or maybe I just need to pay attention. All right. So yeah, so we got to put the. Oh, I don't know if I showed you guys these too, but also picked up two original gold edition Constellar M7s. So these are sick. I really like these. So we're gonna be filling out Constellars. Constellars are in the yellow sleeves. I don't know if I have any left. And so this is kind of fitting. As I say, I don't really want unlims, but from my shop, they didn't really have a whole lot of the Constellar cards at that time in the unlim packs. And so, okay, what do we have? Hades. Got two of those. A pre 2020 maximum gold PADs, still unlim, but very sick. Prospe. All right, and then this guy, he's got a crazy last name. I think he's one of the more expensive cards in the set. Cause And I think those are all the big ones to note that are in the secret. And then a Jinzo, but that's from a newer set. Asian, amazing card. I love this card. It's super fun. Don't know if it really fits in this deck very well because I still need to learn how to like play the right cards. So just collecting them and making sure you have all the right cards to build how your play style is, that's a whole different thing. And so it kind of just goes through the list on that. But that is Constellar. And the arts for this set are very nice as well. It's a slightly older set. But yeah, no, I was talking to somebody last night, and so it was really weird because he rolled in talking as like a Poke investor, I guess. And to me, it's like I give Pokemon cards to my kid. Like, I mean, they're worth money, I guess. But to me, it's like it's still more value for him to be able to like have those as a kid and to be able to like play with those than it is for me to like take them and try to flip them and sell them. Because most of the cards you're gonna pull out of Pokemon sets aren't worth more than $2-3 a piece. Um, Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the most expensive card that we've pulled, I actually got in a set that I bought for myself because it had like this green and orange elephants, so like some base elephant stuff, and pulled one of the Professor Oak cards. It might be worth $20, or last time I checked, it was. But I'll hold on to that. It's a cool Pokemon pull, but I mean, I have that, and then I saved the four cards that my daughter pulled in one of her first sets, and so, but like those are such a different part of time for me, I guess. Um, so with the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, the reason I have all this Yu-Gi-Oh stuff is because I do intend on playing just about all of it. Um, because this is a whole different type of time for my childhood, I guess. So enough about that in the past stuff. And then I did pull three Constellar. What is it? The Twinkle cards, and then a Constellar Meteor. So I was actually going through my cards and I realized that I had those, so I could fill out the deck a little bit more. All right, so Constellars are going to go back here, and then with these guys, we're going to throw them in just in those sleeves. I'll have to pull some yellow ones or go buy some more to kind of make the deck right. But the color coding for the deck will happen as like a final thing, so I can tell exactly what deck it is, not actually by looking through the top of the container, but looking through the side. And so I really like these. I do wish the hinges were a little bit more robust, kind of. Um, but at the same time, these are a dollar, like 88 cents sometimes. So I really, really like these. All right, so I'll actually fill it over here and keep going through. All right, so this is Predator Plants, and I had built this out because I do have one of the Verde Anacondas, um, but it's actually in a hard sleeve because that one's over on the side. I'm not going to sell that because I mean I probably could have made a decent amount more, but the stuff that I really like, I'm not going to sell. It's just I have to keep it. And I don't know why, but it's just a lot of the newer stuff is cool, but the card that I really want from, yeah, again, that Gaia set was Tactical Talents, and I'll probably end up having to buy that. And it's the price on that's going up, which is unfortunate. Probably could have gotten it at a moment in time for about 65, maybe $70, but it looks like those are above 100 now. So, all right, here is Madolche. Okay, nice. So I don't have this Madolche deck filled out, but I would still rather play this, I think, than Atom Emancipator. I don't know why. Um, Auto mode, and probably end up playing that with Time Thief as well. Figure out how to do that because I'm not like too super stoked on the Time Thief cards, but we'll get there. And then actually pulled this from one of the Turbo Pack or the Tournament Pack 14. Very cool. And these are selling for about $3 a piece right now. Probably need to pick up two more of those. Two Angelis. All right. And then my three hoo hoots have two salons, which is cool. Super bad reflection on that one right there. There we go. And then yeah, from the Maximum Gold, did get the Madolce hoot cakes. I have three of those, so that worked out perfect. Madolce Nights and then Waltz. So basically, the main core part of Madolce is done for me, so that's very cool, which I'm stoked on. But yeah, that Ulti Madolce is something else. But yeah, we'll hold on to those, and hopefully the price on that deck will go up a little bit, because any deck that has a $40 to $80 ulti just floating around in it, that's not bad. All right, and then Dances with Beasts. Okay, that's Danger. Don't really need to check up on Danger right now. Tinky. All right, cool. And then Witchcrafter right here. So Witchcrafter's almost done, and didn't seem like it was too difficult to get the cards from that set. Let me see. So yeah, we already pulled our playset of Hane. I got two Edo. Scamita. Two Arurus. Two Patori. All right. And then, or no, I'm sorry, what is that? Okay, hold on. Witchcrafter. Oh, so Pator. I'm sorry, Pator. And then this one's Patori. That looks like the same name. It's just one has an I and the other one doesn't. Okay, and then Madame Verde, or Vera. This one I have the most of, but I also have this one right. Actually, the two on your right, my left, are going to be the ultras, and then just one in the super. The supers are super easy to get at that actually, and so I think I have those up online right now. And then three Witches Strikes, Veil of Whites, two Witchcrafter by Street, uh, Tornado Dragon, and then this is the set that I have my extra Ghost Sisters in right now just for storage. But these are the Dual Devastator Ghost Sisters. All right, and then Draping was easy to get. Sold my extra scrolls last night, and then Witchcraft for Creation also super easy to get in supers, but do have two of the ultras there as well. So coming along quite nicely, if I can say so. Sorry, guys, real quick. Let me go ahead and put these back in order. But yeah, the arts on these is really good. The hollows were super good across the set, and they gave this Witchcrafter set a really nice rarity kind of at its inception. I would more or less say, as I drop a couple right there. Um, but yeah, they did a super good job on the rarity for these, and I appreciate that quite a bit. So. And yeah, I have carpet here on the floor because if you do drop your cards, you don't want to drop it on concrete because just in case it makes up a corner, you can lose it just straight up. So, step on anything I should have said. But yeah, you guys will get to know me. I'm pretty clumsy, you know. Might not be the smelliest person, but I'm known to be clumsy, so for sure. All right, and then that is cubic cards, so we're just gonna leave that one shot. We don't need to get into cubic right now. What is this? Geonator. I think I already looked at this one. Is this all the? Okay, yeah. So that's the Adamantipator. Put that over the tinnies. All right, Infinitrack, and so got our second Earth Slicer the other day. I was pretty hyped about that. Subterra, of course. And so this is what I'm kind of talking about. You can tell that there's a lot of cards in here. And just like looking at the front of this, the way that the corners on the inside of this case go down, it's probably going to end up actually pushing down on the corners of the card right there. So if anybody were to like get an idea to remake these, just don't do that and just make it a flat lid all the way across so that you can really cram cards in there and you still won't nick the corners. Because they kind of have that same approach on the bottom and have some extra subject cards there. But very cool. All right, here is a Blue Eyes deck, and from the other video I showed you guys the other day, I do have a Dragon Spirit of White that I found out in the street recently that was destroyed. But this one, I mean, I've got a couple cards that their hollows would look pretty close to Ghost Rare. This is not a Ghost Rare, in fact, but we could pretend. And so I'll pull a real one. So. All right, Dark Magician. I think that one's on plant something. Oh, Phantom Knights, nice. And then Dragon Maids right there. Did pull a couple of the gold rares from. Oh, that was stuck in there. A little bit of like card static, I guess. There we go. And I do think that I pulled my. Okay, yeah. So a Maximum Gold Nurse Dragon Maid, Kitchen Dragon Maid, Dragon Laundry, and then another Laundry. And so I was very, very stoked to pull this out of Maximum Gold. So that's very cool. So just about all of the recent decks, I would say probably in the last like 2 or 3 years, I'm pretty close to having built, and so that's really sick for me. And it's another good moment in time. So, Prank Kids. And so, actually, for Prank Kids, I think that's the one where we need to follow up. Let's see if we put that other car away, unless I already buried it. Okay, here we go. Right. So, Prank Kids place, right? Prank Kids. So we can sell the cards, slide around in there. There's still extra space in that container. And I really don't need to pick out the other cards. I'll just go ahead and throw that one in there. But if you guys are looking to pick up Prank Kids, Flip Fundamentals on TCG, I do have a couple for sale. So yeah. Very sick. So we're looking for Adagnister, and there it is, right underneath Phantom Knights. And again, Adagnister, I need to like get the guy out of the Dewey Cox movie where he's like, it's the cheapest deck there is, and it's pretty damn near the cheapest deck there is. But we do have a Fire Phoenix right there, and a rare, and then a Pakiri, Gachiri, two of those, so that's cool. And then also have a Dual Asobrum, however you pronounce that. Sorry, Adagnister, two of those. And then did pull an Aruru, or excuse me, a Baruru. There we go. And then I believe I do have the baby Trigon in this just because there are a couple level 1 Adagnisters, and that being the Doshin. Okay, nice. And then I did have one of the Hyari. Okay, previously I didn't know, so I now have 4 of these, which is cool. I do have that playset. And then I did have one of the Danior Ebos. Okay, nice. So the other hollow that I picked up I didn't have, which is nice. So I did a really good job actually, kind of picking up cards for this. Only 1 extra. Not bad. Okay, sick. So to add in the Achichi, that one's in. The Dark Templar, which we'll get a sleeve for right now. These Dions, which we'll get sleeves for, as well as 2 more of the Hiyari. Nice. And those are Cybers, so I am stoked on that. I'll go ahead and sleeve all those up just because I'll just keep them all together since they're more or less the same anyways. But with, you know, the whole math mech stuff that I'm running, and then with this, I'll do a couple integrations and try to like start melding decks together, because ultimately, um, to be able to put Math Mech, uh, Adignister, and then do some like weird Salamangreat like fusion deck, um, just in case they do bring back Murcielago. So I don't know if they will, but I don't know enough about the game to be like making ban list predictions. I'm just gonna sit here and watch a lot of content because people are so hype on Yu-Gi-Oh right now, and it's kind of like what I was telling the guy last night. Is like I've started to do this, and it's weird for me, I guess, because it's something that I've always thought of as a hobby. It's not something that I was just like, oh yeah, let me post this to the internet. People might enjoy this. Okay, well, I guess I was wrong, for sure, and it's not a bad thing for me to be wrong. Um, but this is like another outlet for me, and it's super cool. So I was telling the one guy like I do appreciate it being the outlet, but at the same time, it's like Pokemon got super burnt this year, I think, and so there'll be a lot of people who make a lot of money, but there are going to be a lot of people that don't because just like me picking up that Crush card, just like me picking up the whatever the other one was, those cards like you could just walk into some place and then just try to finesse somebody, and then somebody could lose like thousands of dollars, and then it's just like what's the return on the card game going to be? What's the return on like their perception of the people that play the game, like all that other kind of stuff. So it's one main reason why I haven't like traded a whole lot, and I've just like gotten the stuff that I've needed directly from my local card shop. It's just because I know it's like legit, it's real, I can get it right then and there. Um, but I didn't know enough, and so if I ever make a sale and it's like the wrong card, obviously that's something I'm gonna do my best to take care of right away. But at the same time, it's like I want to try to avoid that altogether, just because it's like bad business in any sense. So, man, but Adignister's coming to life right now. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with this. Okay, so cool. There we go. But no, I think I'll keep doing videos. Probably won't upload the ones that I shot during the beginning of coronavirus. And I hope this doesn't get monetized because I just said the CV word. um, but it seems like they'll probably monetize one way or another, where their people or creators are getting paid or not. I think that was one of the recent changes. So um, yeah, YouTube's out there hustling, and I get it. So those are Mech Knights. I don't believe I've actually started anything specifically for Mech Knights, so I'll just kind of leave those over on the side. There is Salman Great, and speaking of which, there he is himself. Picked that up in a trade at my local card shop, and got it super cheap. But that was probably like this is the same day that if you guys watched the video that I did the trade for the new Tri Brigade stuff that just came out of the most recent set. I got a great trade on the new Tri Brigade stuff because the price on Tri Brigade has tanked. Um, and in that trade, since the guy didn't have money to pay me, I also got another one of the Dragunities. So that was super good. Such a great day. Anyways, moving on. Those are megaliths. Okay, this is another Cybers. So let's see what this is. This is rock. I think that's Kaikumiru or Kokaimiru, however you choose to pronounce that. Okay, this is appliancer. Yeah, so sold a lot of my additional appliancers last night as well, but not the good ones. And Frifers are right there, so. And then Marioness. Okay, yeah, so that's basically it. And then Ancient Gear right here. And then these over here are Numeron. So it's all just kind of spread out. Um, but I mean, I'm wanting to say, I guess when it comes to like flipping cards for like Yu-Gi-Oh money, the stuff that I've learned kind of in like an additional recap to the last video, is that there's a lot of time, and you could post cards on TCG, and on TCG those cards could be there for a long time. For eBay, they could be there for a long time. And both those sites do charge fees. I think TCG is a little bit more straightforward. So I think it's less hassle to deal with TCG. Also, their platform to upload is much easier. But when it comes to like, I would say inexperience, like buying and sale, a lot of that would take place on eBay more or less. But then you also get like the high end auction. So a lot of the more educated people are there for different reasons at different moments in time. Uh, so just the car dynamic is it's interesting, I guess, and it's something I'm having to learn. But obviously, if you're going to go to a shop, if you're going to go to like a trade show, if you're going to go to a swap meet, if you can get somewhere between 40 to 60% of what your cards are worth at that moment in time, that's what you're probably going to have to understand, that like you'll have to accept that. Because if you don't accept that, then you won't make money. Because if those people, if you want to haggle, and like the Alpha King Beast last night, if I was like, oh no, I need to sell for 45, okay, good luck. They're not going to buy it. But I mean, knowing going in, it's like, hey, I can take 30 because they sell for like 35 plus shipping. So if you sell that for 35 plus shipping and then you charge a little bit extra for shipping, you can still make a decent amount on that card. Probably turn about $34 still. But I was like, you know what? In real time, I don't have to ship it. I don't have to package it. I don't have to use my packing materials. I don't have to waste my time, more or less. Um, so to sell for 30 right there is awesome. And then if they buy it for 30 and they're continuing to collect these, then that means the price on that card will go up for the other people who do hold on to it. Um, and so with some of the other stuff that I have behind me, it's like I don't want to sell a lot of the other stuff because with what I've seen other people selling, and then what just I like personally, it's just easier to kind of hold on to some of the other stuff. Not expecting it to really go up or down in value or whatever, but it's just something very nostalgic to have. And again, kind of like these aren't going to be opened, but the bulk mostly from this set is what I took, and a lot of it did move last night, which is awesome. Very happy about that. But these, if you see, are almost in brand new condition, and no dents in the outside plastics, no nicks or bends in the plastic on the cardstock, even on the outside. But all five arts for Battle Legend Armageddon, and these will go into the vault. Um, because to me, even if there's a 10,000 dragon in there, um, it's not as worth it to me anymore because that moment in time has passed. But to somebody maybe in 20 years from now, if there's not one in there, they might get that possible rush, and then that's where the money comes in, I guess. So I'm stupid. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't listen to me. You guys know how it goes. So, but that is the extra cash right here after paying for food, after paying for gas. You know, not just ones in there. There's some 20s, as I don't do a great job to unfold any of that. Um, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Slow money, I guess. So getting out of the K-hole, got some presents, and you know, I know what I want for the gift exchange, but I think I got to pump the brakes, make sure I know what everybody in my family wants first, and I will say kudos and thank you to Konami if they ever see this video. Thank you to that one viewer who's still there. I'm gonna cut it in a second. I appreciate you listening, Ramble. But Konami coming through and pretty much saving 2020 single-handedly. I mean, I'm not a Pokemon person, so I can't say that for Pokemon and Just for Kids, all that stuff. Um, but this is really sick, and did have to save. Hold on, I think I already put it away in this container, so I'm not going to pull it out. Oh, and as I was going through my cards, I did have an Awakening of the Possessed from the previous set, so not one that came from the Spirit Charmers deck. So that's sick. Is it this one? Okay, yes. All right. I'm gonna have to send this to a buddy, and it says Funkcase must sign this because of the hands. So we're gonna see if I can spam level online and see if I can spam him enough to send this to him, and if somebody can actually sign this, and that would be cool. And yeah, that is a first edition Evagishki Soul Ogre, 2800 attack, 2800 defense, Aqua Ritual effect, cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be ritual summoned. You can ritual summon this card with any Gishki ritual spell card. Once per turn, you can discard one Gishki monster, then target one card your opponent controls, shuffle that target into their deck. So, pretty cool. Not the strongest card, especially compared to some more recent XYZs and some other synchros, but still a really cool card nonetheless. So, guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna cut it right here. But there is probably two more waves of stuff that through like posting, and then like getting some more of the comments off TCG, and then getting through some of the other secrets and then some of the other ultras that I have. We'll do a couple more rounds through Frankenstein's, but we'll probably like I don't know, do another one like a week or something. And I think Wednesday might be my day. And I had to stand in a super long line, way longer than the one that me and my kids had to wait in the other day. But a couple of those guys remembered me, so that was really cool. And it's just a genuine place to go. And like, if Disney World is closed, it is for sure the next best place. You still got to social distance, still got to wear the mask and everything. And after I was being in there in a coat for like 2 hours, I was just like, get me out of here. But like, so still it's with a grain of salt, whatever. But like that place is awesome. And so anybody who I did business with, thank you so much. All the vendors, um, everybody's what an amazing place. And so I'm happy that place still exists. I'm happy that place is still operating, um, because it truly is like a niche. And so if you're like the Mos Eisley, like rebuilding robots to sell and like watching pod races and watching people, card fight Vanguard and like talking down on Yu-Gi-Oh, talking down on Pokemon, talking up on what card game they like, talking, how new cards came out for different sets that look like other games, but it's not this one game, it's actually this other game. Like it's diverse, and so it's such a cool experience. So if you guys are in SoCal, I would definitely say get out to Frankenstein's and check it out. Shout out to Eight Ball Cards, those guys locally, and everybody else out there. Just always muck it up, be awesome, and yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what's coming up. I really don't have any expectations for the rest of the year. I am super happy, especially since I was going through and I had built Laval. I had to pull out the Laval chain right there. So this is the Unlim, unfortunately, but I still think this is about a $9 card, and it's stunning. So there's quite a few things that haven't made it out of here, and that's because they're not going to. So, guys, stay awesome. Get ready for Christmas. Say what's up to your loved ones. I guess. I guess. Um, yeah. So, Konami 2020, awesome. Thank you. Into 2021, we're always gonna muck it up. We're always gonna be here, and Troll Gang, Dungeon Crew forever, 1,000 Years Dungeon. Insert lemon grab. Awesome. See you guys next time. Let's go. Sorry.